Hi, St. Andrews. My name is Julie Wood, and as always, it is my joy to be with you for this morning moment. In John chapter 14:27, shortly before Jesus was crucified, he said these words to his disciples: "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." I wonder if amidst the events of the days that followed, if the disciples remembered Jesus' invitation there. You see, it's easy to nod our heads when we hear those words, but forget them when we need them most. These words echoed just days later when Jesus approached his disciples after he had been resurrected. We read this in John chapter 20, verse 19. On the evening of that first day of the week, when the disciples were together with the doors locked for fear of the Jewish leaders, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." After he said this, he showed them his hands and side. The disciples were overjoyed when they saw the Lord. Again, Jesus said, "Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I am sending you." Well, the disciples were gathered. It says the doors were locked for fear of the Jews. I picture them huddled together, all a bit dazed. Jesus, their friend, their dearest companion, their rabbi, had been turned over by the religious rulers and executed by the authorities. I imagine them trying to reconcile what they had just witnessed, shell-shocked by the events that led to his crucifixion. They were stunned and grieving. Everything in their world has just been turned upside down. Their sense of community and fellowship as they knew it was also shattered. And then Jesus, the resurrected Christ, appeared before them in that locked room. And the first word out of his mouth was peace. "Peace be with you," he said. Now, in my mind's eye, I imagine the visceral response that likely took place as they traded in their angst for the peace that suddenly stood in their presence. Interestingly, the peace Jesus brought and spoke over them had nothing to do with the absence of danger or change in circumstances. It had everything to do with the presence of Jesus. See, their circumstances hadn't changed, but they were no longer alone. They were now in the life-giving peace and presence of Jesus. Friends, as we apply this in our own lives, I wonder what circumstances burden you today. For me this morning, my heart was broken as I read the news coming out of Afghanistan and Haiti. And as I read this passage and imagined how much the disciples' world had been turned upside down as they watched Jesus crucified, I thought of all those around the world, particularly those in Afghanistan, who are rightfully riddled by fear and disillusionment. I thought of those in Haiti whose world has literally been shaken in the destruction that surrounds them. I think of how they all must be longing for safety and the normalcy and community they had just over a week ago. And while the circumstances are different between what happened with the disciples and all the happenings in our world today, in all of them, there's one constant, and that is the need for the presence of Jesus, the need for shalom. So friends, as we enter this new day, my hope and prayer for you is that you would enter into the shalom of Jesus Christ, not only for yourself, but that you would be carriers of his hope and peace in the world around you. Enter into his presence. Get on your knees. Listen to those words of peace and let them wash over your mind and spirit. Receive them. Pray them fervently for the world around us, that we might be agents of his peace and of his shalom. May we be a church that joins with the kingdom mission of Jesus and be agents of his forgiveness, his restoration, and peace to every person we meet. May the peace of Jesus Christ be with you.